Hey guys, Dave here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to register for Vortex, create an instant domain, and use that to expose your local computer to the internet. But before we begin, check the description for a link to this video's online transcript where you can follow along. To get started, go to www.vortexhub.io where you can register for your free account. Registration is easy. Enter your first name, last name, and email address, and click the Register Now button. Within a few minutes, you'll receive an email confirmation. In that email, there's a button that says Get Started. Click the button and you'll be directed to a page where you can create a strong password and then log into Vortex. Once you've logged in, click the Sites menu on the left to see all the sites you've added to Vortex. Obviously, since you just signed up, there's only one here, but you use this screen to add new custom domains and instant domains like the one you see. These are the domain names that you're going to route to your own local computer. If you visit this domain name right now, you're going to see a message that looks something like this. But don't worry, this isn't a problem. This is just letting you know that the Vortex shell is not currently running. You see, instant domains require the shell to be running so that they can route all traffic to your local computer. But custom domains will route traffic to your live website until you create individual rules that only route select traffic to your local computer. So if the shell's not running, everything functions like normal and you'd never receive this screen. Let's download the Vortex shell. Click Vortex shell on the left menu and you'll see options for downloading for Mac OS, Windows, or Linux. Choose the operating system that's right for you and click the link to start your download. Once the download completes, unzip the file. One thing to keep in mind is that the Vortex shell is a console application. You don't simply double-click the icon. You have to go into your terminal or command prompt and run the command manually. If you run the command with -H as an option, you'll see what you see here, which are all the configuration parameters you can use when starting it up. So let's go over some of those right now. For this tutorial, I'm going to be sharing my local Epson printer configuration dialog. This is a website that lets me see information about my printer. I get to it by typing the URL you see right here. So let's break this URL down for a minute. HTTP is the provider or the protocol that it's going to use. 192.168.0.232 is the host I'm going to. And by default, if you're a web programmer, you should already know HTTP runs on port 80. So I'm going to use a provider of HTTP, a host of 192.168.0.232, and a port number of 80. So let's see what that looks like when you type it into your shell. So here it is. When you start Vortex shell, you have to tell it where the traffic's coming from using the site parameter and where it's going using the host, the provider, and the port. So in this case, you can see that I'm going to handle traffic coming from my instant domain, which you saw me create at vortexhub.io when I registered, and it's going to go to a computer on my local network located at 192.168.232 on port 80 using the HTTP protocol. So let's see what that looks like. A few things are going to happen when you start the Vortex shell. The first thing is it's going to ask you for your email address and password. Enter those in. If you find yourself starting and stopping the shell frequently throughout the day because of development or debugging, you can use the -save option to create a PIN that you can use instead of the email and password from that point forward. If you ever forget your PIN, just type a wrong one and it's going to ask you for your email and password again. The next thing you're going to notice is it tells you the host name that you're connected to. In this case, it's our instant domain. And as traffic comes in, you're going to see it run across your screen as it forwards it over to the printer that we set up earlier. It doesn't have to be your printer. It can be any web app on your local computer or anywhere inside your local network. Okay, now that we have the shell running, everything's connected. Let's open up a web browser and type the URL of our instant domain and see what happens. Notice the URL. It's been securely accessed using my instant domain, and it's serving up the printer configuration from my printer sitting on my local network. I didn't have to manage certificates, I didn't have to set up routing, Vortex does it all. And the minute I shut down the Vortex shell, all of this goes away. As a matter of fact, I think I should do that now before somebody reconfigures my printer. And that's it. You're now sharing your local printer's interface on the internet using a Vortex instant domain. As long as that Vortex shell is running, that domain is available and anybody in the world can access your printer configuration. As soon as you shut down the shell, everything stops. So check back here soon for more tutorials on other great ways you can use Vortex. And have a great Vortex rest of your day.